In the year 63 AD, a major earthquake scoring a 7.5 on the Richter scale occurred in the town of Pompeii and Herculaneum, with the epicenter below Pompeii. Again, in 64 AD, another earthquake was experienced in this same area. In the 15 years following the second major earthquake, smaller earthquakes continued to occur, causing the magma chamber to fill up and finally erupt in 79 AD, causing monumental damage to the towns below. Mount Vesuvius formed at the subduction zone of the Eurasian and African plates. The Eurasian plate is the oceanic, and African plate is oceanic and continental. The oceanic portion of the African plate subsided under the continental Eurasian plate to create this deathly volcano.
The human impact of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD was considered one of the most catastrophic impacts that a volcano has had. As it is considered one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world, most people in surrounding cities died instantly from inhaling or being buried under heated gas from Mount Vesuvius's eruption. Around 20 to 30,000 people were killed from the eruption. Mount Vesuvius affected people from many different cities, including Pompeii, Stabae, Herculaneum, and Oplontis, stretching through the entire southern side of the Gulf of Naples. The nearby city of Pompeii is desolate to this day and has had no residents since the eruption. A cloud of hot gas and ash called a pyroclastic flow, along with a flood of volcanic mud called a lahar, is what completely buried the surrounding cities and caused the majority of the deaths. Rock and ash collapsed buildings and buried the dead.
One and a half million tons of debris per second from the volcano spewed into the atmosphere. The article states that the volcano released over 100,000 times the thermal energy that was released during the atomic bomb droppings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II. Molten rock, pumice stone, and hot ash fell from the sky primarily on the city of Pompeii, which was 5 miles from the volcano. The nearby town of Herculaneum was deeply affected as well. The citizens of Misenum, which was 18 miles from the volcano, felt the effects of the eruption as well.
The nearby cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum were destroyed by the eruption within about 25 hours. The cities themselves were just under 4 miles apart, and today they lay preserved under ash, dust, and rock, and have not been rebuilt. Not only did the volcano wipe out the area itself, but some surrounding environmental areas were detrimentally affected as well. An example of the 7980 Mount Vesuvius eruption on the surrounding environment includes the floodplain that surrounded the ancient city of Pompeii, more specifically known as the Sarno River floodplain. The volcanistic material that covered the area ruined the ecosystem, while at the same time preserved some of the former environmental conditions. The article states that in 7980, the whole floodplain was buried by pyroclastic deposits of the explosive volcanic eruption of Vesuvius. This circumstance allowed for the perfect preservation of the paleo landscape.
Around mid-August of 79 AD, small earthquakes began to take place in Campania, but the citizens were not alarmed because of how frequent they were at the time. They assumed it was just a regular mountain, so much so that the Romans did not even have a word for volcano. Another severe earthquake had struck the region about 17 years earlier, and the repairs from it were still going on, but apparently no one was worried about the new earth-shaking events. After the eruption, the poor survivors were forced to stay, having nowhere else to go. To this day, Mount Vesuvius remains one of the world's most threatening volcanoes. It's alive and has erupted more than 30 times since destroying Pompeii. It killed 4,000 people in 1631, 2,000 more in 1906, and its latest eruption was as recent as 1944. They now learn that if anything happened like this again, they need to be more alarmed. A quote I found while researching from author Robert Morley explains, "When we watch the world around us, we need to actively work not to become numbed. We must not let ourselves begin to think that we are living in normal days. What is happening has always happened. Extraordinary, unprecedented earth-shaking events are making headlines with increasing rapidity. Prophecy is being fulfilled like never before. The ground is rumbling. Don't ignore it. Realize just how quickly the evil day could be here."